Thank you for coming out to today's 2024 Charlotte 49ers baseball preseason press conference. We're going to start with our players here. On the viewers' left, we have Brandonstalman. In the middle, Cameron Hansen, and on the right, Tony Rossi. We'll go ahead and open up with questions right away for the players.
Thank you. Do I have to state my... Brandon, you're moving from third to shortstop. We talked about it a little bit earlier. What are you looking forward to moving from that position to replacing Jack Dragum there at short?
Well, we got a whole new team, so it's more of how we can mold this infield, not just myself, but us four into playing a really strong infield. I know we had one last year, but it's building off of that and, you know, not just myself, but getting the new guys to fill that mold as well. And we practice every day to prepare for the game. We make situations game-like, and so I'm looking forward to a lot of success from all the infielders this year.
And Tony, can you walk us through kind of the decision to come back and after 2023 not playing, rehabbing an injury, and deciding now come back your final year of eligibility?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Woodard and the coaching staff took a chance on me after JUCO, not the best stats. And I just fell in love with this place when I first got here, so it was kind of a no-brainer to just come back.
Going back to Brandon, talking about the move over from third to shortstop, usually, you know, termed as kind of like the captain of the infield. What are you looking forward to kind of assuming that role, as Jack mentioned already, filling in for, you know, taking over for Jack Dragum, who's been a stalwart at that position for the last couple of years? What are you looking forward to leading the infield, and how are you going to maybe shape that group going forward this season?
Well, since we had a lot of success last year with the infield, I think it's just learning from that and starting day one where we came off last year. You know, all the infielders, we work every day, and it's not just like in practice and the scrimmages. We form those situations, and, you know, I try to do my best to guide the infield and outfield. But, you know, it helps. My first 2 years I played shortstop at my junior college, so it's not a new role, and I've played there multiple times before. So, yeah, like I said, I'm just looking forward to a lot of success from me and all the other players next to me.
Cam, in the middle here. Preseason all-conference in a new conference, what does it mean to you to kind of be recognized from, you know, half the league's coaches aren't as familiar with your game as the five coming in. So, and kind of what does it speak of for you to be recognized as a preseason all-conference player with a lot of unknowns for Charlotte going forward this year?
Yeah, it's awesome, first off, to get that award, but, I mean, it can't be done without the 9 or the 8 other defenders out on the field, and with all the teammates in the dugout, and with all the coaches and all the stuff they've done for us and the situations that have been put in place for us. None of that would happen without them.
And now looking towards this weekend, you got Virginia Tech coming here to open up the season. What are you guys looking to see out of your team? I mean, it's been a lot of scrimmages, a lot of practices so far, and it would be the first game action of the spring season. Brandon, I guess to start, what are you looking to see out of yourself and the team this weekend against Tech?
All the guys are fired up. We've played each other so many times in the fall and preseason, so it's just like we're all looking forward to just playing together as a team. We faced 2 other jerseys in the fall and had success, but that doesn't mean anything. We got to start, you know, on Friday, and we're all looking forward to
it. For me, it was really fun to do it this fall against 2 other teams. And so having all those guys in one dugout pulling for each other rather than all the scrimmages, having them split in a situation, it's just going to be a lot of fun going into it.
Yeah, I mean, we got a bunch of gritty guys that are really looking forward to see another jersey. We've been seeing each other for a while. Everyone's starting to get used to each other a little bit. So I think everyone's really looking forward to see another jersey.
And Tony, can you kind of walk us through your rehab process through last season and now getting ready, gearing up, getting ready to go full go for the 2024 season?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I just started off surgery, kind of Donna and Nemo was a big part of that, just rehabbing with me. Probably took 11 months before I was back on a mound throwing in a game. Played some summer ball and then came here in the fall and just had some success. Velo started climbing, everything started climbing, but a lot of that has to do with Donna Nemo. She's a huge part. She's just in there every day with me, and I can't thank her enough.
This is for all three of you, but we'll start with Brandon. Such a new group this year, only 11 returners, 28 new guys coming in, and only 4 position players returning. So has it been difficult trying to assimilate all the new guys in, especially with only 4 returning position players, you being one of those 4?
It's been pretty smooth. Like, this group works incredibly hard, and so they're all there. We're swinging before practice, after practice. We're taking extra reps. So this group is really competitive, and we can see that through the scrimmages we've had so far. And so I think everyone, pitchers and position players, are just fired up to play together finally.
For my point of view, it doesn't feel like we just got however many guys. I mean, it feels like we've been together for at least a year. And I think that's just going in before practice, staying late after, and also knowing to have fun, when to have fun. And it's just a bunch of good guys that are, having fun during the game.
Yeah. I mean, like they said, it's gone really smoothly. It doesn't feel like we only have 11 returners. It feels like everyone's returning, and I think everyone's just really excited for Friday.
For our 2 pitchers, you guys were both recognized by D1 Baseball as some of the best at your respective positions. How nice is it to be recognized for all the hard work you've put in? And then is there any kind of motivation to maybe climb higher on that list by the time the midseason rankings or the year-end rankings come out and show that you belong with some of those big names like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool to like get ranked by like D1 Baseball and stuff, but to be honest, I really don't really care about that. Like, all I really care about is like game 1, first pitch, throwing, winning. That's like all it really boils down to, because I could have been ranked number 1, but if I don't go out there and perform, if the guys don't go out there and perform, we're not going to win. So,
Yeah, personally, that stuff is all in the past, and so that means nothing for this upcoming season. So, and like I said before, like, as much as it's our award, it couldn't have been done with a lot of other people.
All right, now at the table is Charlotte 49ers baseball head coach Robert Woodard, entering his 5th season leading the program. The Niners' 46th season of competition gets underway this Friday, 4 o'clock against Virginia Tech at Hayes Stadium. They'll play Saturday at 2 and Sunday at 1, weather permitting. So, Coach, why don't you start us off with an opening statement about getting ready for the season to start, and then we'll take questions.
Thanks, Joe, and thank you everybody for being here today. It's you're putting the jersey on for the first time of the spring, and just kind of gets the juices flowing a little bit. So we're certainly excited to get going here for the 24 season, our first year in the American Conference. We've got a large recruiting class that's come in with a core group of players that's worked extremely hard since our first team meeting in August. I'm always hesitant to say this because we've had incredibly hardworking teams and some teams that have already put up some numbers on the outfield wall that are very meaningful, but this group has been as hardworking and committed to being great as any that we've had here. And so I'm excited to all be in the same dugout together, as we've been scrimmaging all fall and preseason against one another. It's a very competitive group. So like I said, I'm excited to be in the dugout, just all of us together as one, as we only had 2 kind of fall exhibition opportunities where we got to do that, both of which showed well. But again, it's a whole new ball game in the spring, and it feels as though this group is ready.
Coach, you mentioned numbers on the wall in the outfield. What's it going to take for this team to finish the year putting up a 2024 up there?
I think just being themselves, not trying to be last year's team, not trying to be the 21 or 22 team, just recognizing that this is a completely different group, and we're going to write our own story. And no spring is without various forms of adversity. So, I think just understanding that, and, I think if we're able to do that and play for one another, then I think that good things are possible for this group. And, as I mentioned, this has been one of the hardest working groups. It's a group that's got 36 players of our 39 that are above a 3.0 for the fall semester academically. We had 13 guys make a 4.0. We've increased our body weight as a team from 196 to 204. And that's going to continue to climb as the season goes with our training with Eric McKibben, who's one of the best performance coaches in the country. So there's just all there's a lot of signs that point towards this group wants to be great, not good.
Coach, Kalen Milson for the Nine Times. How confident with the new squad you said of a bunch of new players coming, how confident are you this opening weekend against Virginia Tech?
Well, like I said, I mean, this group's put the work in. Confidence comes from two places. It comes from prior successes and preparation. And when you start a new season, you pretty much just rely on the preparation because, and then game by game, inning by inning, pitch by pitch, the confidence grows as a group as the season unfolds. So I'm very confident in this group. They've worked extremely hard, as I mentioned, as hard as any group as we've had here, playing for the 9 across the chest, and just couldn't be more ready to lock arms and get in the dugout with them. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And first year in the American Athletic Conference, you get that 2 next to your name in the preseason poll. Does that preseason poll carry any weight? What does it mean to you as a coach to have that high of a preseason ranking first year in this new conference?
Yeah, I think, first and foremost, I think, I think it's certainly an honor. I'm not going to be one of those people that just says that it doesn't mean anything, I guess. I want to be honest. But at the same time, I think Mike Tomlin, longtime Pittsburgh Steelers head coach, said it best. He said, it's not about what you're capable of, it's what you're willing to do. So it's, and I think Cameron Hansen, one of our pitchers, touched on it in his segment of the press conference where preseason stuff, that's pretty much, that's about the past. And it's about what you're capable of, neither of which are going to put up runs on on Friday or this spring, and none of them certainly not going to prevent runs either. So, it's an honor because I have great respect for every program in the American Conference and every coach in the American Conference. If you just take some time and you go look at, the coaching staff throughout our league, it's incredible history and track records for all of them. So, we certainly appreciate it, but I think every team in the conference will tell you too. Everybody wants to be number one, and number 2 is not where we want to be ultimately. And I think every coach in our conference would say the same thing. And I don't forget either. In 2021, I think we were picked next to last, and we ended up winning the conference that year. So there's teams in our conference that were picked where they didn't want to be picked, and they're better than everybody else thinks they're going to be, and they're going to have that chip on their shoulder too, just like we did in 21. So that all kind of goes out the window as soon as the season starts. But we certainly appreciate it just because of how much we respect our opponents.
Coach, looking at the non-conference schedule as a whole, I know you intentionally try and schedule these tough teams to not only improve the players as the season goes on, but also to help with RPI and stuff. Just all the teams that we're playing in these first 5 weekends of non-conference are not just good teams, but they're teams that we've played in recent years. Virginia Tech last year, West Virginia 2 years ago, Old Dominion every year, it seems like. UNCW in one game last year, and Maryland in the regional 3 years ago. So what does it kind of mean to you as a head coach and then as the program as a whole to get that respect from some of these top programs where they want to play a team like Charlotte and you can play them year after year and build that relationship and build a good series out of those teams?
Yeah, when you play college baseball in Charlotte, North Carolina, it's not hard to find good teams. We're in a hotbed here. I haven't looked recently, but potentially the most Division I teams of any, most Division I programs of any state in the country, if not top 2 or 3, certainly, with how many programs there are. And then you look north to Virginia and south to South Carolina and west to Tennessee. If we don't have a really challenging schedule, then that's my fault. And it's something that we pride ourselves in. We'll play any team anywhere. We want to be every single game. We want to be in tough environments. We want to challenge ourselves. We want to see what we're capable of. And for us to go where we want to go, which is to win championships and ultimately put a number up next to the College World Series in the outfield wall, you can't do that by playing an easy schedule. You can't luck your way there. You have to go through it, and you have to face the best. And that's what we're about here. We've been about that since our coaching staff arrived here in summer of 2019, and that's gonna always be the case here with us. And we recruit to that as well. We make it very clear in the recruiting process that this is our schedule for the year that you're going to be coming here. If that fires you up, then you should come here. If that's something that intimidates you or you're nervous about, this might not be the place for you. We want the best players in the country to come to Charlotte, and we want the best players in the country to know that you're going to play a top 10 non-conference strength of schedule. You're going to play in one of the top 6 conferences in the country, and you're going to do so in front of a great fan base and a program that, in the last 3 years, we've sent 12 players to the professional ranks. So, those are all things that are very important to our program, and scheduling is certainly one of them.
And some early week scouting now, looking at Virginia Tech. They got a stud, Carson Martini. He's a top prospect in the ACC. I think he went 3 for 10 last year against you guys when you're up in Blacksburg. But what's the approach to slowing down such a highly rated prospect for the Hokies?
Yeah, it's a great question. They've got their entire infield back, and their position player group is not only this year, but year in and year out, they have one of the best offenses in the ACC. So it's not just Carson and their third baseman. It's really their entire lineup that you just, again, it's what you sign up for. And when I'm talking about scheduling, we know we're going to play really good teams. We prepare accordingly. We feel as though our pitching staff has been tested against our own hitters day in and day out. So, we pretty much just attack to our game plans and our strengths. And as the game unfolds, or if we see something ahead of time that we feel like we want to try to exploit, we'll certainly try to. But it starts with ourselves, and we're not going to try to do too much against anybody, although, he is one of the best players in the country. And, but here comes weekend 2. We've got J.J. Weatherholt, potential, number 1 overall pick, top 5 overall pick, and then so on and so forth. That's just the nature of it. But it's about us. It's about doing what we do. It gets back to when you asked, what does our team need to do to be successful? We just need to be ourselves. And our goal every year is to be the best version of ourselves come June. The finish line is not opening day. The finish line is the NCAA tournament.
Any other questions? No? All right. Thank you all for coming out.
Thanks, everyone.